Okay, so let's change this color scheme to something a little less intrusive. Black and white film it is. Alright, let's use a different weapon now. And this is actually one of my favorite weapons. It does so much damage if you can keep your shot lined up on your target. Which is great for the larger targets, and even for the smaller targets, because you can do kind of a sweeping effect. You can take them out pretty quickly too. This is actually probably the weapon that has gotten me the highest scores. And ooh, look at this cloud. By which I mean the cloud of enemies instead of this, you know, white cloud that's actually a cloud. We're doing okay, we're doing okay. Get a kill, get a kill, get a kill. Got a kill. Good. It has a very long range too, and instantly hits that range, so you don't have to worry about bullet travel time. But aces are actually... Ooh, I almost got it. Aces are one of my problems with that weapon, because they fly around so much. They're so maneuverable that they can dodge the beam pretty easily. And they take a lot of hits, so you have to keep the beam trained on them for quite some time. I don't know if you can hear because I've been talking during most of this, but the music actually does change with your equipment, and I think the drums changed because I changed my weapon. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a different drum backing now. Wow, I died so quickly. As for the story to this game, there isn't really much. It has a very kind of World War I-ish, 2-ish hybrid atmosphere. There's submarines, so it's more likely to be World War II, and I guess jets as opposed to propeller aircraft, so I guess this is kind of a dead giveaway. But the interesting thing is, Luftrausers is a very German word, and I don't think the Germans had a very intense sea campaign, or like, I don't think that a whole lot of World War II battles that involved Germany took place in the ocean. Most of the water conflict that I'm aware of was between the US and Japan. But if you look at all of the military regalia on all of the NPCs and all of the people who you're supposedly with, they very much look stereotypically German. Okay, I've got that, I've cooked that battleship up. I've just got to get a combo going, and then I can seal the deal on it if I can survive long enough to, and not escape by, get some ×9, that's pretty good. Got the battle. No, I didn't get the battleship. Okay. That's not enough. I gotta keep going. I'm actually a little surprised that that didn't give me more. Ooh, come on! I did it. Good enough. Good enough, good enough. Alright, let's get the heavy body in. I don't know if you've seen, but each of the combinations has a different name. This one's called Teddy. I think it has to do with its silhouette kind of looking like a teddy bear with its arms out. Some of them are very silly, glib references. Like, there's like a whole bunch of Top Gun references. There's like the Maverick and Iceman, I think, is one of them. Danger Zone is another one. There's Batman and Jester. There's some really silly ones. I'm hoping that I'll have the combination that actually is named after the composer. Kozilek, I think is how it's pronounced. Also, this is my favorite combination in all, and I'm kind of sad that my first foray with it was not more successful. I only got, what, 5,000 with it? I should have a lot of practice with this. Okay, the main melody also changed on the music, now that I've changed my body. I'm using a Xbox 360 controller to control this game, but it does support keyboard and mouse, and I know some people actually prefer keyboard and mouse. And in some ways I can kind of understand, being that the controls are a little bit odd to get used to. When I first started playing, it was, I had some experience with Time Splitters 2 having this game called Anaconda that had a similar kind of left and right means turning clockwise or counterclockwise. But some of my friends have actually been having a lot of trouble adapting to this game's kind of unusual approach to the control scheme. But once you kind of get used to it, it's kind of like how I feel Kid Icarus Uprising. I wouldn't want the control scheme to be different now because it would give up so much fidelity. Did I just blow up a battleship and another one was like right underneath it? Okay, I've got it this time. I absolutely have the... Oh, hello, it's a submarine! And it went away. Submarines are difficult to kill because they keep moving and they actually take quite a bit of punishment. Although if you do have the bomb body and you can drop a bomb right on their head, it usually takes them out in one shot. And I think it takes only 2 direct cannon hits. Okay, yeah, we definitely have it now. Please, alright, try to get away, oh. I'm sad that I'm not blasting the scores out of the water more often. Okay, so we have the super jet and the heavy body, so they kind of cancel each other out. This isn't the top speed that this can attain, but in a way it kind of compensates. Also, we have the jet and the laser, which actually stacks its penalty because when you're firing and boosting, your turning is atrocious. If I can actually show it off here. Yeah, I'm trying to turn, barely moving. But if you stop, you turn as normal, so it's very much about managing your ability to boost and your ability to turn. And now the baseline has changed. They actually offer the soundtrack, and in their offering, they let you assign... I'm not entirely sure how it works, but they've kind of described it. They allow you to basically create the track that would happen if you had certain permutations. And since there are 5 of each type, there's 125 different musical combinations. And then there's, of course, the final track that plays when you have your final ship that requires all 3 skulls. This is an Ace Marine. It is like a submarine, but... Oh, I killed it. It gives you a lot of points, and if you have a good combo going, that is one of the best ways to beat the final mission that a lot of people end up doing, because it's very difficult, is in this mode called SFMT, which I might show off later. You have to get 20,000 points in one run. And getting a 15 combo at least, and then killing an Ace Marine lets you get that achievement. And that was actually what I did. So, the pig. This time I have a spread, which further negates the boost when I'm firing. I don't know if we'll be able to see too much of it because of the bigger thrust that happens with the engine, but as I'm firing, it's impacting my momentum quite a bit. So like, here I can be going straight up and down, and then I start firing, and it pushes me off to the side, or I can try to slow my descent by firing downward. It's not enough to really control your movement. Like, gravity will definitely overcome me even if I'm firing straight down, but it does let you do interesting things with stopping your thrust, and it really helps with fighting battleships because you can fire downward at an angle that helps kind of maneuver around as you're fighting them. Again, because I have such a strong engine, it's not going to be as apparent in this setup, but when I change my engine, it should become quite a bit more apparent. The spread is actually okay at keeping combo because you can cover a wide area. Wow, that did a lot of damage. You can cover a wide area with your shots. hopefully hitting something small and taking it out. Each of the individual bullets isn't enough to kill any particular thing, but it only takes a few shots to kill anything. So the spread's actually one of my more favored weapons because of its diverse use. When you're fighting a large thing, usually it's physically larger, so it will take more of your shots. And if you're fighting small things, you can cover a range of them, and there's usually more numerous small things, which means that it's easier to hit at least one of the small things and keep your combo going. Unless you can't turn because your engine makes it hard to turn. So actually, this engine doesn't have very good synergy with this weapon. It screws up a lot of the benefit of it in many different ways. But if I can just stay alive for a little bit longer... Oh, okay, good. Kept my combo. I should be able to... Yes! Just as I achieve it. So let's switch to the melee body and the super boost engine. This is very interesting combination because you have high mobility and you have a body that is meant to ram into the enemies. So if you're accurate with your boosting, which I'm actually not very good at, this is actually not a combination I'm particularly talented at, but it has a lot of use if you can get good at it. But I've relied on my weapons a lot more than I rely on intersecting my enemies to ram them for damage. Although there are a few weapons that I feel, like especially the missiles, that could definitely use with a supplementary boosting, ramming damage. Also, this has such low HP that you can't withstand a whole lot of punishment, so the engine is really nice in that you can get away from stuff really quickly. As you can see, I can outrun a lot of bullets. And I guess one of the interesting counterbalances is that because your plane itself is a decent weapon, you don't have to fire your weapon as often, which allows you to repair more often and offset that negative of having low health. This doesn't actually do any more damage, I don't think, when you're ramming something, but it does keep you from taking damage while doing so. You would think from how it looks it would actually increase the damage though, so it might. I haven't really measured the times, but it doesn't say that it does. That's a pitiful score. I am not very good at this combination. We might actually be stuck on this one for a bit. And yeah, melee body is what's making those little jet noises, which is kind of silly considering there's a jet engine, and that's not what causes the jet noises in the music track. I would think if you were a standard jet, you wouldn't want to be ramming things, because you'd be going at such high velocity that it would wreck your ship. But I suppose it is the body that implies the most mobility, so I guess it makes sense to have that body have the noise. The Twin Snakes noise. Seriously, if you ever play the game Twin Snakes, there are too many jet engine noises in the cutscenes. I don't know why. The director for that one was a very odd individual. Good, good, good. Good ram on the battleship. Ooh, bad returning fire on the battleship. Ooh, I'm gonna eat it, I'm gonna eat it. I ate it. I ate the bullet. I'm getting terrible scores. Just atrocious. because this is not a style that I usually play with. But that's what this is all about too, is that it's trying to train for handling stuff that I'm not used to, so that I stop specializing in a certain... It helps adapt to different situations. Like, especially the melee body is actually really good about getting you to avoid taking damage entirely, where the heavy body makes you really comfortable with soaking hits. This one is the exact opposite, and I played way too much with the heavy body, so I'm kind of spoiled on my hit points. Come on, battleship. What I really want is to actually live long enough to spawn the blimp, because fighting the blimp with a melee body is actually really fun. If you can get in and actually get inside of the blimp, you stand a really good chance of actually killing the blimp. And all of the missiles that it launches, the little slow missiles, they are pointless against the melee body, because the only way they ever do damage is by intersecting you. By intersecting you and having quite a bit of HP. So it takes most normal body types. It takes a lot of HP off of them before they give out. That's kind of the interesting thing about those missiles, is if you encounter them alone, you actually aren't that threatened by them, because you can usually tank one, but if you have to tank two or more at the same time, it gets... Yike! It gets pretty hairy. Oh, they do so much damage. Or I have such little HP, I suppose I should say. I wonder if it's because the structural integrity of a plane that's all jagged like this is not very good. Except the weird thing is that impacting other things doesn't do any damage. Science does not belong in fun video games. Well, I mean, of course, that's... Let me retract that a little bit, because it can always be fun to play around with the what-ifs, the applying reality to an unrealistic situation. But this is not one of those games. Oh, man. Good. Building a combo. Gotta cool off, gotta put the fire out. Oh! Okay. Ooh, wow, 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 wow. Okay, good. I'm getting a lot of situations that I don't want to be in, and making it out of them okay. That's great for my self-esteem. Oh my... Okay, I think this is the best score I've... Don't say anything! My goodness. It's like they can hear me. Is she bragging about her score again? Get her. Make it ironic. They have an irony drive built into all of these enemies' ships.